season 7. I guess the season that made a lot of people leave the show, like half of the fans, probably way more at this point, with the other seasons, like season 8 especially, because that's where even I was thinking to leave after season 8, which I guess we'll talk about that next as well. Then there's season 9, which kind of resurrected the show and kind of went back to its roots, and then there's season 10, another great season, and then season 11, the current one, which I don't know if I'll do like a full review once the whole season's done, because I'm kind of reviewing the episodes that are remaining right now, but yeah, not really the best right now when it comes to a finale, but I'm just getting by basically. But we'll talk about season 7 anyway. So to a degree, the season's underrated, and then also I kind of understand why people hate this, and I don't really blame them, because this is a really depressing season for Walking Dead fans, and man, trying to get through this whole season, just seeing our characters suffer, and then what they do at the very beginning where they kill like two huge characters. So obviously spoilers if you haven't even watched the season yet. You know, Glenn and Abraham, which I guess we'll talk about their deaths. Man, their deaths were so brutal. Yeah, because I guess at the end of season 6, the one who actually gets Lucid was actually Abraham. But then when when Negan kind of goes over to Rosita, putting like Abraham's blood on her with the Lucille, that's when Daryl tries to step and he actually punches Negan. And he said no exceptions if people try to step out of line or anything. And then he says it again, and then that's when he hits Glenn, and that was just such a shock, man. Like I just remember watching this episode, like not knowing who was gonna die as well. Yeah, just look how gory Glenn's death is, man. Oh my god, it's way more gory than it was in the comic. Jesus, I don't even want to keep that image up. I mean, Abraham's doesn't look that bad. He definitely took it like a champ though. But look at Glenn's. Oh my god, let's take that off, because that was so brutal, man, for Glenn. Oh my god. And he even made it more sad than it was in the comic, because they made him more lovable in the TV show compared to the comic. It just sucks, man. I kind of wish Glenn was still here, or at least one of them, because basically both of those characters actually died in the comic too, at similar times. Just they both wasn't at the lineup scene, but I guess Abraham, he kind of got shot in the eye, like how Denise did with the arrow by Dwight. So they kind of swapped that in the TV show with Denise. And when it's Abraham, he has like a full dialogue before he dies, which is just crazy. Where Denise, she just goes down straight away. And then Glenn, he kind of gets the same death. It looks more brutal, and he has a little bit more of a line that kind of means a lot more than I guess in the comic, where he says in the TV show, Maggie, I'll find you. Where in the comic he just says, I think he just says Maggie. He just screams Maggie basically, but that's still sad too. But yeah, Maggie, I'll find you, man. Yeah, I never forget those words, man. His last words to Maggie. Yeah, not knowing that his child and his wife is safe after what just happened, because he's dead. Like, he got his brains bashed open, and then Rick has to get his axe for Negan, and he's forced to like fight against all these walkers. Yeah, because he basically goes on a trip with Negan. Like, he drags him in. Like, this episode's just so intense the whole way through, and oh my god, Andrew Lincoln's acting in this whole scene, like, you could just see how much fear he actually has in him. Like, that's what this episode does really well. Like, fear. Like, all of our characters are basically scared. You could say that Abraham wasn't really scared. Like just look at him standing up. Like, he was ready to take it like a champ. He wasn't scared of Negan, and that's why Negan knew that he had to kill him. Yeah, because probably eventually he would have tried to step to him. But imagine if Shane was alive at this point, man. He wouldn't be taking no shit too. Yeah, I could see that, man. But then Shane, like, he'd definitely die. I feel like he would have did something worse than what Dell did by punching Negan. He probably would have tried to like do something really bad to him, and that would cost like even more lives probably. Like, not just his life, but probably way more lives. Yeah. Like if he did a really bad injury on Negan, yeah. And then just, when he finally gets back out of the RV, like Wick, because Wick's just like imagining all the characters that could die, like all of his family that could die next if he doesn't, listen to Negan. But he's able to get the axe, and he gets back, and then it seems like the worst is over, and Negan basically explains the rules that he has to take half their shit, or there'll be consequences, probably similar to what just happened now. Someone will have to pay. And then before they leave, or I think before he even says that, like he's threatening to cut off Cal's arm, and you just, oh my god, you just seen Wick break down at this point, snot coming out of his nose, just, oh my god, just begging, please don't make me do this. And he says if he doesn't do it, then something else bad is gonna happen, like because he has to cut off like Cal's arm, and Cal's just like, just do it. Oh my god, what a champ. Yeah, man, that's crazy. But then that's when he tells the rules afterwards, because it was basically just a test. He wasn't wanting him to do it, he just wanted to see if he was willing to do it. Yeah. But yeah, that acted from Andrew Lincoln, wow. And then after that, it just goes like ta-ta and just leaves them to get to work basically, and get what I guess they owe Negan. And Maggie, she just wants to kill him, man. She just wants to kill Negan after what happened to Glenn. But they need to get Maggie to safety right now, because Maggie's not feeling well. I mean, who knows how the baby's doing right now? Because when it was going out, like Maggie wasn't feeling well. So, and then seeing her husband die like that, my god, she's going for so much. Yeah. So they just focus on getting her back, while the others, I guess, head back to get the stuff for Negan. As for Carol, I guess it seems like she's going a bit crazy again. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what direction it was going to take Carol, because it seems like she was going like the crazy route, like in the comic, because she was hallucinating walkers and stuff. But then I guess that's when we meet the Kingdom, who basically save Carol while she's going through those delusions. And then that's when we get to meet a bit, because I think Morgan's with her at the time. Yeah, like I think he helps her. And then that's when we meet Ezekiel at his theater, and you just see the tiger. I didn't really get an image of the tiger, but yeah, Shiva. Yeah, first time seeing the tiger, amazing in the TV show. Pretty good CGI, yeah. Just to think that's probably better than anything Marvel's doing right now with their CGI. That's terrible. Yeah, because it's not like The Walking Dead has Game of Thrones big budget like a movie, but they did a pretty good job with Shiva. Yeah, and just meeting Ezekiel and everything. Yeah, some cool stuff. And then in episode 3, I think that's when they focus on Daryl. Yeah, because he basically gets taken after what happened, because I guess Negan could sense that he's a fighter, and that's why he probably took him, even though it did cost like Glenn's life. And I guess some people blame Daryl for getting Glenn killed, but it was Negan who swung the bat. So yeah. So yeah, basically you're just seeing Daryl suffer after everything. Like he's just locked up in the Savior's hideout, the sanctuary, having to listen to this annoying song, Easy Street. Man, that song, I'd go insane listening to that every day. My god. And then it eventually gets to a point where Dwight kind of shows a picture of Glenn's mashed up head. It's just, and then you just see him crying, and Easy Street's playing again. Oh my god, it's like torture, because they're trying to break him basically, to the point where he says, "I'm Negan," because I guess that's Negan's goal, to make him like one of their soldiers. But you can't break Daryl. He's always going to say, "I'm Daryl." So you're not going to be able to break him. Yeah, he's not weak, like probably how Dwight was. But Dwight got his face burned, man. Yeah, he went through a lot. Tried to get Sherry out, but then she has to get taken back, and you see Sherry as one of the wives, because basically Negan has like multiple wives. and Sherry was one of them. That's why they was trying to escape before, because she was supposed to be Negan's wife, and then what happened with Dwight and stuff, and then I guess the same was gonna happen to that Justin Bieber looking girl. Yeah, so that's why they tried to escape, but then they got captured, and then Dwight had to pay the price. Yeah. So there's kind of like, I'd say like Dwight and Daryl are like polar opposites, but they're just like on different sides. One's the bad side, one's the good side. But if things were different for Dwight, he'd actually be a good guy. Yeah. It's just because of the circumstances, he never really, got to be in the good light. I mean, he tried to help, his wife and that girl escape, but, things didn't really work out. He tried, but yeah. He's kind of stopped being Negan's puppet. I mean, he's one of his lieutenants, like Simon, but yeah. Oh yeah, Simon. Like, seeing him, man. Because he basically goes... I can't remember if he's the one who goes to the hilltop. Because basically Maggie ends up having to hide in the hilltop from, I guess, Negan. Because, they're basically looking for her. But then, I guess, Wick says that she basically dies and they buried her. So Negan doesn't suspect anything. And that's when... is it Simon who goes to the hilltop to check what's going on? To see if she's there. Like, they're kind of looking around and stuff, And luckily they don't find her. And I know that, I guess Daryl does eventually break out by the end of the first half anyway. Thanks to Sherry, because she kind of sees him suffering and how... I don't know if she like sees a lot of good in him. And she kind of feels bad for what she did to, Daryl. When he just left him and took his stuff, yeah. And she could see that there is good in him, where Dwight, he's just too far gone. Well, it seems like he's too far gone, and there's no coming back. But then after, I guess, Sherry helps Daryl escape, she kind of leaves herself. After killing, like, a few people as well, which, that's what Daryl does, yeah. He kills, like, a few people before he leaves, yeah. And then Dwight, he doesn't even know what to do after all that. And then that's when I guess I'll just focus on the episode that I guess a lot of people don't like, with Tara. Yeah, a lot of people don't like that episode. Because I've always liked Tara. I've never had a problem with Tara. Like, she was like the better Glenn for me. I know most people would definitely disagree with that, but she became the new Glenn to me. I mean, at the very beginning, I loved Glenn, but I don't know, it just got to a point where I didn't love him as much. But still, when he died, it was a big deal because how much I loved him back in the original days, the original seasons, man. Like, he was such a good character. Even late Glenn, like, some of the decisions he'd made, not most people at this point would make those kind of decisions and be that nice. Like, if someone tried to kill me, like, shot me and literally let someone die who I know, like, he basically got him killed. Like, I wouldn't even trust that person, let alone spare them after shooting me. So yeah, Glenn was that type of guy, man. But yeah, I just don't know where I should focus on. Oh yeah, that, I guess the second time when Negan comes back, basically he wants, I don't know if it's the time where he wants half his shit again, because it's in episode 4 where he wants it again, and then he makes a joke about one of the people who take care of the food and stuff, and basically calls her fat, and then she basically slaps Negan. But it's like from there that she was kind of doomed, because we get to episode 8 and it seems like, Wick finds something that can actually give to the Saviors when they come back again. Basically, Negan's having a talk with Spencer, because Spencer basically wants, Wick dead at this point because he lost his whole family and he blames Wick. So he tries to make a deal with Negan, but then it kind of backfires, and the guts thing. You did have guts. Man, that's a classic scene. Just Negan basically slicing his belly and you just see all his guts come out. Yeah, and then all the memes and everything, and Sakatume, which, I miss you, man. Like, his little funny video he made of that, made a whole song of it. You did have guts. You did have guts, lol. Miss that guy. And then that's when that lady who Negan called fat kind of gets shot by one of Negan's lieutenants, because basically Rosita, because I think was it Rosita who kind of had a thing with Spencer, but then she sees, Negan killing Spencer, which Spencer was just an asshole. He tried to betray Rick, so he deserved it. Like, no one really cared when he died. People was actually happy, so he's one of those deaths where you'd be happy that he died. But then I guess it was bad for Rosita because she kind of cared about him. Yeah. So she tries to kill Negan because she has a gun, but then it hits Lucille. So then she's just kind of in trouble from that. And then that's when Awat is the one who kind of gives like Rosita like a permanent scar which you still see like to this day in season 11. Yeah. And then that's when Awat kind of kills somebody, which the girl who Negan called fat, and like Cal's right next to her. So I was thinking like, oh god, don't shoot Cal, no. And then I guess that's the way things end. And well, for the first half anyway, because Rick also gets back and he's just like horrified that it's happened again. Like, he's lost people, not as big as the first episode, but still people though. Like, he made a promise to Deanna that he would protect Spencer no matter what he did, but then he ended up dead. Yeah. And then just the lines that Negan sends to Rick. Yeah. Like he's some slave, man. It's messed up. Just the way how he gets treated as well by the other saviors. Even before he brings what Negan wants. Like, man, just treat him like shit. And then that's when, I guess in the second half, he's trying to like make alliances because Carol and Morgan have met the Kingdom, and I guess they're trying to convince them to help their group, but they're not really listening until like something really bad happens. Oh, I forgot what the guy's name is, who gets killed by one of the saviors, and then that's when Ezekiel decides to actually help him. And I think Morgan gets to kill that guy in a future season, I think. Yeah, I kind of forgot the guy's name, but he was kind of an asshole, like the way how he treats like Ezekiel's people, the Kingdom people. And I guess the point where he kills one of them, so yeah. Morgan basically wants revenge because he kind of saw him as like a good guy too. So then they basically unlock that alliance. As for the Hilltop, that's something that Tower was taking care of because I didn't really talk much about that. Yeah, because the episode that a lot of people didn't like, because she's able to make some sort of alliance with them, even though like she's not supposed to talk about them to anyone, because she kind of meets a girl who I guess she kind of bonds with, but then everyone else doesn't really trust her because of what happened to him in the past. And I can't remember if they mention it in this season, but basically Simon had to punish him, and what he does, he basically kills all the men, including like the boys in the Oceanside, but only keeps the girls and women alive, which is just so messed up. Like Simon, he's like so messed up, man. Oh yeah, he was like, man, Simon's just like, imagine, I think it's like to make hints as well that he was in charge once upon a time. Yeah. Like say something about backsliding, but I don't know if that's like in season 8 or not, but yeah. Just what Simon's willing to do, and I guess people kind of feed him too much, but then I guess Negan put him in his place. Yeah. Basically. But yeah, let's talk about the group that I guess Wick finds. So the Garbage People. I can't remember what the actual name was, but I think we just used to call them the Garbage People. I think that's what Trevscan too called them, but yeah. Because basically Wick had to prove himself with these Garbage People. Like he had to fight some walker with like spikes and stuff, and he actually the spike actually goes through his hand when he's fighting it. But if he's able to defeat it, then he's basically proved himself. And I can't fully remember the reason why he's naked, like, because they basically all get ambushed, but then you just see Rick smiling from it. Like, I'm just like, what? But he's thinking like, oh, we found people, but can you trust these people? That's the thing. Like, Rick wasn't thinking about that. Yeah. But he still wanted to try and earn their respect. And I can't remember if there was something else that he needed to do for him to be able to earn their trust and actually help him when it's time to fight Negan. Because Rick's trying to fight Negan by building a group first. Because Tower basically, I didn't say because Tower was with Heath, but then something happens where they get split up because it's like a bunch of walkers, and from there we never see Heath ever again, which is just messed up. Because Tower basically ends up getting captured by the Oceanside, and they're planning to kill her, but then it's the girl who she meets who decides to protect her, so she doesn't die, and they eventually let her go. But then later on, they'll need that connection for when they step against the saviors. It's going to be hard to convince them though. Yeah. But she has that connection, so. And then that's when she gets back, she kind of finds out about Denise too. So yeah, she just we just see a different side from Tara from late season 7 going into season 8. Like she's a different person. Like seeing Glenn kill 2 saviors in their sleep, like that was something. But then how Tara is in season 8, oh my god, like she's bloodthirsty. I mean, you kind of see something like that from Morgan as well, which we'll get to. Yeah. And it's mainly because of what happens to a friend that he meets in the kingdom, when he gets killed. It kind of opens up his clear mode again. Like, you're just seeing people, basically get to a point where they're just so angry with the saviors, they just want to kill them. Like, seeing, Morgan, who has this new philosophy, go back to his clear mode, but I guess it's kind of more controlled. Like, he's not just going to kill, his own people. He's going to, kill the ones who have basically just enslaved people and killed people. Like, he's going to focus all of his rage onto them. As for Tara, she just basically wants revenge, and she's willing to kill as many saviors as she wants until she can get it. Yeah. Going into season 8 anyway. And it seems like it gets to a point where, Negan comes back. Everyone's basically on their knees, Carl and Rick are on their knees. They can't really do anything at this point. It seems like there's no hope, but it gets to a point where they're able to, get everyone together, the groups, and they're able to help. I think the Oceanside, I'm not sure if they actually helps, because basically it looks like Carl's about to get Lucille'd. But he kind of gets saved by Shiva, the tiger. Just that whole scene where you just seen everyone fighting. Finally they're actually standing against Negan, and it was just so cool how they did it. It was good in the comic too, but how they did it in the TV show, all the action and everything, everyone with these awesome guns. You see Dell with some futuristic looking gun, oh my god, things were just getting crazy, man, because they kind of found a stash of weapons basically. I can't remember how they found them though. Yeah, I can't remember if it was from Tara's connection or something that Rick found. Yeah. Oh yeah, the episode where it seems like Rick was gonna die because Michonne and Rick are spending time together, thinking that they can get out of this situation. Then it's Rick dies and Michonne gets sad, but then he's basically okay and he basically finds something, I think. Yeah. As for Tara, I can't remember where the guns come from. I think that's from Tara. Yeah, I think she's the one who is able to get the guns for him, and then they're able to fight back against the saviors. As for Carl in this season, they tried to make him how he was in the comic, where he was just so badass, and Negan recognized that, and he viewed him as basically a future serial killer. That's one of Negan's lines. Yeah, I really enjoyed Negan in this season. Yeah, he was he became my favorite character for the rest of the series from this season. I know some people might not like him because he killed Glenn and Abraham, especially Glenn. That's what most people hate about him. But he has an evolution where he starts off as a hardcore villain. Then he basically gets spared, and then he kind of has he feels bad for everything he ever did, and then he's trying to make amends for what he did. And then there's the current timeline with what's going on now. He's a different person at this point. He's not even the same Negan. And I just wonder if there's still people who want Negan dead at this point, even though he isn't really the same character anymore. Yeah. And it's going to get to a point where Negan and Maggie are going to have a show together. Someone who wanted Negan dead because, killed her husband, Glenn. The father of her child. Yeah, Herschel. So I just wonder how that show's going to turn out anyway. Yeah. For them to work together. Yeah. We'll see how that goes anyway. But yeah, I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan's performance as Negan. He was so entertaining. He kind of made the show lively. Again, I mean, at certain points, because there are points of this season that are depressing, and I understand why people don't like this season and give up on the show, especially from those deaths. But yeah, when I first watched it, I have to say it was in my top 5 seasons, man. Mainly because I loved Negan so much. Jeffrey Dean Morgan did such a good job. He made him so entertaining. Yeah. But then as time's gone on, I think this season's gone a bit, down in my rating. But there's still certain things about this season that I like, and then there's things I don't like. And it got to a point where it's not just the fans who are not happy with the season, even the actors, where they're thinking like, should they leave the show at this point because they're not really happy with how their characters are getting treated. And as time goes on, that keeps happening. Like, people keep leaving the show because of how their characters get treated. Like, they're not getting enough screen time. Their story sucks, especially in season 8. It gets really bad. Yeah. But yeah, I think I was talking about Cal before. Yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of how they did Cal. Yeah, it could have been better. It really could. I know they tried, but yeah, just could have been so much better. Because for the most part, Cal could have been so much better. Basically, it's like Judith kind of became more of the Cal that we know from the comic than the actual Cal. Yeah. I mean, there's certain points where I do like Cal, but I mean, I basically grew up watching Cal at the same time when I was growing up watching this show, so yeah. I feel like that's kind of a thing that kind of holds a special place when it comes to Cal. But it's just, he's not really one of the best characters. His acting hasn't been like amazing all the time. Like, yeah, I wouldn't even say it's ever been that great anyway. Yeah. But it's still a character that I like at least anyway, and he's had like special moments sometimes, and it's been important for like, Rick's development, even Negan's, because basically like he has a soft spot for Cal, and going into the next season that's going to be important, I guess. But that's some kind of weird writing from Scott Gimple, which yeah, I'm gonna say a lot of negative things about season 8. Man, I feel like at this point I don't know. I don't even know where I'd play season 8, because is it around season 3? Because that season makes like season 3 mistakes like season 8, man. My god. Like, it's in that territory with some of the mistakes it makes, but then it has like some of the best action in the whole show. Like, it's, oh man. Like, after The Walking Dead's over, I guess I'll see where I'll wait all the seasons, man. Yeah. But other than that, I'll probably end this review here, because basically it sets up like they're basically going to take a stand against Negan, and Negan says they're basically going to war. Yeah, and I thought like, the war, huh? Yeah, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Like, I was hoping that someone would play, but oh well. Yeah, I mean, I like this season, but he hasn't aged well, and I see why a lot of people stopped watching, and things just got worse from season 8. Like a lot of the people that was probably still around probably left after season 8. Even the actors left. Like, basically the one who plays as Morgan leaves. He goes to the spin-off show. Just a lot of actors leave, basically. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just going to end the review here. So what did you think about this season? Is it your worst season of the whole show? Or do you really like this season? Let me know down below. Appreciate if you leave a like. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.